What's good? We are
What's
on the
up, my
Daily
bro?
Cannon, and it is official. I got some very prominent and special titans on the phone. This is exclusive. Launching a brand new podcast that got the whole world buzzing. Uh, my brother Dave Mays and the one and only my OG, my brother Suge Knight. What's good?
What
Man,
up,
it's
Nick?
always you. You know that. It's always you. You
Man,
the most. You the most inspiration. Anybody come out the inner cities, all over the world. I
man,
mean that. You know that.
yeah,
Hell
nah.
yeah.
We family, and I appreciate all the words, man. Always staying strong, and I mean, you doing something innovative right now that got the whole world a buzz because they can't even figure out how it happened, how it done, but you are utilizing your voice from behind bars. Literally, they can incarcerate you physically, but they can't incarcerate your spirit. I understand in this time right now that your voice is probably more important and strong because there's so many different narratives and things that are going on uh, about times, and you and I have spoken on many occasions about what is the truth and in your
Always.
perspective, and you now have the opportunity because of Breakbeat and what Dave Mays has put together to actually tell your side of the story and to speak to the people directly, man. So y'all tell me how that whole thing came about.
Well, one of the things is very well, first and foremost. Me and Dave go way back, and I always say this, and I probably say the same shit, like eight tracks and coca sacks.
For
And
sure.
when he was at the source, I was starting Death Row. You know, but I understood one thing. Like in prison, you have people do podcasts at St. Quentin and other institutions. They even asked me to do one here before, right? And I always felt that if I'm gonna use my voice for something, first and foremost, I'm not getting paid from this. I'm not doing it to generate money. I'm doing it for me personally, to any person I can help and give back with knowledge and stop all the fools try to rewrite history.
Mm.
But history is history. The best way for us to grow and learn from each other is to keep the truth of the history. So if I hear somebody saying that, Pac was scary, Pac was this, he wasn't an artist, and I say it all the time, I get more mad when I hear somebody say something about Pac than I get mad when somebody say something about me. It is what it is. I know who I am, and I don't have nothing to prove.
Right.
But when you turn around and say, well, Pac was scary, but Pac did something that people around George Floyd would have did, we wouldn't have been going through what we went through with George Floyd.
Right.
Because when they was choking George Floyd, you had people, oh stop, you heard me, and they whipped out their phones for social media to post it. In Atlanta, well, you know the story better than anyone, when these guys were beating up this homeless guy, like beating and killing him, the police. Pac said, hey, stop beating this man. When they didn't listen, I'm not telling people they need to react like Pac did, but Pac when they got a gun and shot at him and say, stop, you going to kill him.
Right. He was
He stopped
helping.
him from
He was
killing him.
actually helping
So when you turn,
people, innocent
right,
bystanders, and he came to their defense.
right. So when stuff like that and you talk and you just want to speak about a person, I'm not going to say certain names, but you
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
even with attorneys. I didn't talk to some. I didn't ask assistance on some of these attorneys dealing with civil stuff, right? And they'll represent a black man or somebody from the inner cities after they dead. You know, just and they might not even be speaking the correct English, but they'll represent them and get the money. And but you ask somebody to help you out or help people out when they're living, it's something possible, they'll turn their back on it. But it's not about who is it and who I'm talking about, but the most important thing, and like I said, we here to salute you. And
Nah.
one thing I always say,
Yeah.
no matter what, and at the end of the day, it's like this. Not just black people, anybody from the inner city go through a struggle, they need to take a page out your book. You really from the inner city, you really a brother, you really a homie, and you still make it happen. And you got so many people who complains about working. Everybody can't be the boss. Everybody can't be in the booth. You're going to need an engineer. You're going to need somebody to flip the burgers or whatever you need. And what you shows is that you can come from where we come from and be a businessman and still do it.
Nah, that's
You
real.
know, that's important.
Man, like I said, we've had many talks on many occasions, and you laid a lot of wisdom on me, and really being one of the titans in the game. And I mean, as I always talked about, man, you iconic, and in that sense where not only did you put on for your community and was always a protector from day one, but even to that sense where now getting to set the record straight. And I want to even talk to Dave just for a second, man. I mean, because utilizing your breakbeat platform and giving Suge the opportunity to have this podcast, man, how did that all come about?
Man, well, like Suge said, we go back, to the beginning, 30 plus years, and always had a great relationship. And I had got in touch with him maybe about a year or so ago, around the time I was just getting Breakbeat off the ground, just kind of checking on him. And, we were kicking it. I was telling him about it. So the idea kind of, sort of like, hey, let's figure out something we could do. And then earlier this year, it was actually my fiance, who's also the chief creative officer for Breakbeat, Brett Jeffries. She brought it to me. She was like, you guys are so cool. You and Suge, he has so much, respect for you. Why don't you talk to him about doing a podcast? And so I got in touch with him, and we started talking and came up with the concept, and here we are.
And how do you produce it? Because I mean, like, I think obviously there's, we've even heard the correctional facility computer come on and let us know that we're being recorded. We obviously we know there's 15-minute increments. I mean, as a producer, man, how do you go about taking your conversations with Suge to actually bringing them to where everybody can hear it all around the world?
Well, I mean, one of the things that Suge wanted to do with this podcast from the beginning was make it, very raw and authentic. You're hearing a real phone call from him from prison, obviously. So, you're going to hear those, messages and different things, and the phone will cut out and we'll get back on like, we're going to do in a few minutes now and just keep it moving. And one of the most interesting things I think we're doing is with the visual part of it. Since right now we just have Suge's audio, is we are creating the first kind of AI podcast where you're going to see it on Tuesday. We premiere it worldwide on YouTube on Tuesday, and it's incredible what we're doing with the technology and the animation. The custom avatar is super cool. The first promo is dropping today. I think I just sent it to you, so you got a glimpse of what we're doing. So I think that's going to take things to another level when people see
that's
the
gonna be
visual.
it's so dope. It's next. I can't wait for the world to see it, and we, just to be a part of it. And I've had the privilege. I mean, obviously we're all friends, but I've actually gone and sat with and broke bread and built with my man Suge inside, and he got a lot of wisdom. He got a lot of game.
Fed me.
Yeah, exactly, man.
He fed me.
So, you're getting everything out the vending machines. That's my man. but yeah, man. And we working on so many projects. I mean, both of us. I got projects with my brother Dave. I got projects with Suge that we want the world to know the truth, man. So, Suge, what are some of the things we're gonna be getting the opportunity to hear on this podcast on Collect Calls?
I mean, it goes to the thing of any of my knowledge, putting a period to any question marks, number one, and anything I can do to help. I think, mental health is very, very, very serious in our community,
right,
and in prison everywhere, and people don't pay attention to it, right? And just a conversation alone, we can help each other. And it's not about just a religion tip when a lot of people say, well, I believe in God, but I believe in the universe, but I believe in this and spiritual, but everything comes from God, not man, not nothing else, because everything we got here somehow. It didn't come from the universe. We are here. And one of the things I feel that we can always do is I want to stop the person from doing all this time in prison. I want to be able to help the the son whose father's doing time where they don't commit crimes and come to prison, or the daughters, or I don't want the streets to keep grabbing our people and tearing them down. I think we need to use our platform to be able to help, not to be able to hurt, because nowadays you got people who get on podcasts and the social media. Only thing they want to do is either they make up a lie or they want to talk about the negative.
Right.
Anybody can talk about the negative. Go and hang out with the devil. The devil's already waiting on you.
Facts.
Let's do something to lift each other up. This is like it's guys that I'm so close with, and we grew up from different neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
But how could you know a man and you know this man kids? You know, regardless if we was playing ping pong, regardless if we get something to eat, you see this man kids grow up from little bitty boys and little bitty girls to become successful women and successful men in society. And how could you say something negative about this man and disregard the fact it would have on his family? So every time we turn around, we constantly putting everybody down, but at some point, since we know better, we're supposed to do better.
Yeah.
Like if I'm never gonna have nothing negative to say about you, bro. You my bro. But even if it was to the point, if I had something to say, I'm gonna talk to you about it.
Right.
You like me, you got a lot of kids. We both got kids, right?
Facts.
And so what I say about you, right, at some point in the world, it affects your kids.
Yep.
So when you know that, how could you constantly go is everybody want to always say the kids is the future. You know, that's one of the things, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to bring up nobody's past, but at the same time, you take Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston gave us something that nobody had been able to repeat or duplicate what she done and she gave to us as an artist, as a singer, as a person. Okay, a few people got on
You have 60 seconds remaining.
a bad path, but so everybody else. But what they did to that woman ultimately affected her daughter.
Yeah.
Her daughter could have stepped in her shoes and did so much for everyone, but they constantly, every time you turned around, they was playing clips of her bad days, talking about the negative stuff she did or what happened to her instead of the great shit she did. And it affected her daughter. Her daughter ended up, you know, passing away on the same, you know,
Tragedy,
pretty
same
much the same
energy.
circumstance.
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
you say, and I know
We got all that negative energy and all that little extra shit,
Exactly.
you know. I was about to cut off. I'm going to call you right back.
Yeah, you call us right back. We're gonna talk to Dave while we get Suge back on the line. But man, this is important, Dave. I mean, we've talked about it, you know, in private many times, but just really you being one of the curators of the culture from for people who don't know. I mean, just from you're a true OG, from being the founder of the Source magazine to everything that you've always kind of championed. Authenticity and truth in hip hop, man. So what you doing right now with Breakbeat, what you doing right now with the Collect Calls is important, man. So you know I support it all the way.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I agree, man. I'm really excited about what we can build with Breakbeat. Hang on, let me get Suge back on. It's him calling. Hang on.
All right, cool. This is that process of collect calls. Really, when you get an opportunity to, you know, reach out and have real conversation with somebody that was there. I mean, and on all occasions for everything from the golden era of hip hop to the things that as a culture now that, you know, we was raised on, you know, the game that these dudes laid before us. Oh, dead air trigger? No.
Hey,
Yo.
Yeah.
Y'all, we back?
yep, Suge back.
Yep.
Yeah, so where we left off, I mean, even in the sense of what just talking about, you know, trying to be on the highest frequency and get rid of a lot of the negative energy. Suge, I got to ask you this question. I mean, I've asked you this in private before, and even, you know, as we worked on your memoir and as you get a chance to reflect, is there any, as you sit there, you know, grown man status, probably so much time to reflect back, is there anything that you would have done differently, considering all of the circumstances from where you sit now?
I mean, I don't know if I could rewrite history and change, because some things is meant to be. God had his way, and the universe has his way of planning it out the way it should be. But it's things that, you know, first and foremost, I mean, it's a blessing that each time I come to prison, I reserve myself and I learn more, and I get a better relationship within myself, with God, and the people around me. And, you know, when you really look at those things, I lived a life, my life went real fast. And there's been attempts on my life all the time, you know, for good or bad, regardless if I did something wrong or regardless if it was jealousy or regardless if it's part of the game or the streets. I never complained about it. I know that Death Row did something. Well, I did something that I got people out their contracts and brought them to a place where they can express themselves. There's not one person on Death Row, even before they had an album out, that I made sure they had a household name. And I think it's just that it's sort of disappointment to see so many people talk about each other and hate each other. I mean, you take Jewel. Now, Jewel, that was my sister, that was my homegirl. Yeah, dude, we talk shit to each other.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Did she say some crazy shit about me before? Absolutely. Did I tell her go fuck her stupid ass up? Absolutely, right? But at the same time, I never wasn't there to pick her up.
Right.
When she had a murder case where she supposed to got life in prison, I paid like $700,000 to make sure she didn't go to prison.
Right.
When it came time to go through all these different things, the saddest thing in life for me was the fact that when she got sick, I heard it was like a couple of hundred could have saved her life.
Wow.
She just needs some medical attention. She passed away in a, motel with one of her children, and all she needed was some health insurance to save her life. And nobody paid for her funeral. Nobody stepped up. Everybody, all the albums she sung on, all the different things she did, and nobody did that. If I don't know about it, even in here, I would have did what I can to make it happen.
Right.
But it's not just about Joel, it's about everyone. Even when it comes, like I said, people say, Dash say this, Dash say that. Well, do you hate Dash? I don't take Dash serious. For Dash is I knew him as a good kid. I gave him an opportunity to be a producer and put him and Corrupt together as a group, as a dog pound. Your Dash had mental health. If you check, the past, he has mental health. He has been in the crazy house and those type of things. So that don't make him a bad person, but I'm older, so I'm supposed to respect the fact that he go through some stuff. He might say something crazy about me or anybody else. We're supposed to be strong and overlook it.
Right.
I know when Nate Dogg passed away, everybody want to say what they was going to do for Pac. Oh, I was going to get Pac out of prison. Oh, I was going to do this. And, even Warren, you said you was going to get Pac out of prison. You didn't have a relationship with Pac like that. But you didn't. But I did. But at the same time, when Nate Dogg was in the convalescent home, those people didn't come see him.
Yeah.
Big Style went to go see him, but those people never came to see him, and nobody spent their money to take him away from the convalescent home and put him in a nice house with 24-hour nurses around it. That man would have got his life back.
Right.
They didn't pay for his funeral.
Right.
So everybody want to say what they would do, who they're going to do for the next person for social media.
Right.
If you're really serious about doing something, if you give a man $100 and you tell everybody in the room, I gave him $100, I gave him $100, you got your blessing from man.
Yeah.
If you give a man $100 and don't say nothing, you get your blessing from God. So who do you want your blessing from? I want my blessing from God. I don't want to be known as the man who can tear something down. I want to be known as the man who can rebuild something. I mean, even I was gonna, when Takeoff, he got killed, he passed away.
Yeah.
That bothered me. Every time an artist in the hip hop lose their life, that bothers me. Takes me all the way back to the beginning of the bullshit.
Yep.
And hip hop is bigger than one person. It's all of us. So on that note, it was about well, you know what? I had a guy, I sketched some shit. I ain't an artist, so I had this guy draw this incredible picture of Takeoff.
Yeah.
The first one he did, he had glasses on, so I found one without the glasses. And I wanted to get it to, like Offset and Cardi. I think Cardi's incredible, so I reached out to a few people. I had this picture probably done right after it happened. That's how long I've been waiting to give it to him. I said, hey, get this to him. Cardi's manager, the little guy used to work for Isco. Well, what is it for me? How much you going to pay me to get it to him? Oh, man, all this extra shit. I ain't going to pay you no 20 grand, 50 grand to get something to Cardi being Offset because I'm got a portrait done for help him, right?
Right.
And by the way, you can still get it to her because still got it out there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just feel we can do so much more.
Well, yeah.
That's why I'm into doing these
That's what I'm saying.
podcasts
You're
and
doing it
series.
now.
And
That's why
I want,
you're taking your power back.
yeah,
I mean, because people think, oh, because Suge is incarcerated, that we can tell our stories or we can spin it the way we want to spin it because your voice has been silenced. But now the fact that through Breakbeat and collect calls and what David set up, that now you can speak directly to it. We talking to you right now, and it's because that's the thing. Like everybody got their famous Suge story, and now they get to hear from Suge directly.
Yeah, because at the same time, it's just like this. If a person was my custodian in my building, he can't talk about how we made a record in the studio, right?
Right.
He can't talk about how I promoted Pac's album or I came up with the name All Eyes on Me. He can just tell you about how he cleaned the floors.
Right.
So if a person do security, motherfucker use security. But
Right.
you wouldn't every person, like Pac was an arrogant motherfucker.
Right.
Pac didn't fuck with everybody. If you was to help, he gonna speak to you, but he not gonna have a conversation with you.
Right.
So these people who have a Tupac story, they want to talk about stories that really didn't happen. Or you got people who got death row chains now who didn't have death row chains, at the beginning.
Right.
Or you got people who say, like I said, I'm not gonna give these other dudes energy, but motherfuckers be one like, oh, Pac was a buster. Well, Pac put you in your pockets.
Right.
And then people are like, no, he didn't. Call the killer. How would you have did that?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
To the fact that everybody want to be so tough, and I'm not proud of my arrest records, But if you pull all things I ever got in trouble for arresting, I wasn't a drug dealer, but I was getting in trouble.
Right.
And I'm quite sure for whooping some ass and doing some shit I probably should have been doing aggressively, but somebody else was doing something to my people or trying to do something to me. You got some motherfuckers probably went to jail once for a burglary, stealing, or got caught with some crack in their pocket. Those ain't things to be proud of. Coming to prison is never nothing to be proud of. But I think more importantly is that anything I can do to make anything better out there, I'm willing to do. So when I gave those single mother days dinner for all the single mothers and had a different artists up there, I did that. Yeah. And it's people I gave millions of dollars. Shit, Deion Sanders.
Yep.
When Prime wanted to be a rapper, he said, I want to be a rapper. He had an agent named Gene, was a great dude, rest in peace, Gene. I spent over $500,000 of my own money. I put guys in the studio. I paid Dallas Austin. I did all these songs, did everything.
Wow.
Then one day he came to me and said, well, Prime deal with Nike, and Death Row is a black-owned company. And we don't want to really deal with a black-owned company, even though you paid for everything and you signed, we signed to you, put us on the Interscope label.
Wow.
Brand. So I go to Jimmy and say, look, I paid for everything. The contract's with me, but could you put him out on Interscope? They're like, oh, yeah, I do that for you. Anything for you, Mr. Knight. And so if I'm at Prime performing somewhere, I'm taking a private plane to make sure everything's good. But not one day did anybody give me $1 back.
Wow. That's crazy.
Not one time.
So Deion Sanders was signed to Death Row originally.
He was only signed to Death Row. Must be the money that they play on the fucking commercials and all that shit. Those checks should have been coming this way,
Wow, that's crazy. See that?
But at the same time, it's people only want to be black when it's convenient. When it's convenient to be black. If you get caught in the ghetto, then the motherfuckers name drop and be black. If they need something from you, they name drop and be black. But when it's not convenient, they don't want to be black. That don't say everybody. Scarface is my motherfucking homie. That's a good motherfucker. I've been knowing that motherfucker since we was both young as a motherfucker. Same thing as Tretch. Tretch and Pac was probably one of the closest motherfuckers around.
Right.
And you never seen Tretch doing all this and trying to capitalize off of Pac.
That's true.
Tretch is real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like every time we turn around, we don't got to go back and, everybody be saying they love. One thing for sure, when Pac came to Death Row, it split everything in half. And a lot of people say, well, Pac wanted to leave Death Row. That's not true at all. Now, we had a conversation, and Pop's like, look, you my big brother. I'm with you till the wheels fall off. I'm breathing out of prison because of you.
I feel like you taking your power back, Suge. I mean, and it's I know you got so much to say, and that's the beauty of having your own podcast. But we gotta also promote it, and it says like if somebody wants to hear collect calls with Suge Knight, what's the best way for them to do it, Dave? Like how can they make sure that they, and how often, how many episodes we gonna get? How often do we get to hear these conversations?
It's coming out once a week. Right now, the episode 1 is on all the audio platforms. You can go right now to Apple, Spotify, anywhere you can listen to podcasts and hear it. World premiere on YouTube of this the visual version of episode 1 is Tuesday on Halloween. Got to make sure, everybody, we scare the hip hop world and let them know Suge is back. So that drops on Tuesday on YouTube, and then every week hear new episodes first on the audio, and then watch the video version on YouTube a day or two after we drop the audio.
And it's interesting that you say that too, like, cause Suge, you and I talked about this, where you're the most infamous person in hip hop ever, and we even as we working on the helping Suge with the memoir, we was calling it villain, because you have been like almost like the boogeyman of hip hop. Everybody got a Suge story. Everybody's scared of Suge. And now that you get to set the record straight, I mean, is that persona real, or now that you got so much time to reflect, what should the persona moving forward be, and what do you want the Suge Knight legacy to now represent?
I believe in my community, and I believe in my people. So if a woman walking outside and a guy is trying to rob her and rape her, and I see it, and I go and beat the guy up who's raping this woman and robbing her, to her people, I'm a hero. To his people, I'm the worst motherfucker in the world.
Right.
So it's two sides to everything, It's
you're a protector. You've always been that. You've always been somebody who protects their community, protects their artists.
Before we get out of hey, bro, before we get out of here, Nick Cannon for president.
I don't want them problems. No,
you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy, Suge, too? The last time I came to see you, that was the day. I remember I pulled off the prison lot, and because they take your phones, they take everything, and you and I had built that day. We was like for like 8 hours. Okay, that was the day that Kobe passed.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember it was just a whirlwind of like, and obviously, and then COVID happened all after that, and it was like, so I definitely, man, we got so much to build on. I gotta, if it's back, if they allow me back in there, I definitely pull up and we can continue to build again. But we got so much unfinished business.
Hey man, listen, check this out. I'm gonna tell you like this. Number one, business back on. You allowed back in here. You still on the list. And the second thing is this, man. If you notice, I haven't went out and said I'm doing no book with nobody else or anything else. My word is always who I am.
Yeah.
And the only person I'm going to do, if you still going to do it, the only
Absolutely.
person going to do that book is you.
Yeah, nah.
Because one thing about it, man, I'm going to tell you, we brothers. Sometimes we might not agree on certain things, but brothers, as always, we going to always work it out. And one thing about it, I'm always going to have your back. I don't got to tell you I love you. I'm going to show you I love you. That's the most important thing, and I think that's what we need to do as we move forward. But, Nick, before I get out of here, I think it's really important that, back in the day I tried to start a union for hip-hop, for the artists.
Yeah,
because if you're an athlete and you play 5 years, you get dental, you get health care, and you get a pension for the rest of your life. Every other job, you get retirement. But hip-hop, you can be the best-selling artist in the world, and you don't get no retirement. You don't get no health care, no dental, no pension. And all these major companies make billions of dollars off everybody. So these hip-hop artists should get a retirement. And even sickly, if women who run the industry, if they get pregnant, regardless how much money they make, they should get something to take care of their kids, or when they're in labor.
Yeah.
And I think you're the right person to get everybody together, and we need to make sure we get a union for all artists in hip hop.
I love
so
that.
if they do one album, if they do 2 albums, they get retirement for the rest of their life, because we do so much for the world.
Another brilliant idea. Another brilliant idea from the one and only Suge Knight. I mean, collect calls once a week. We're going to support it. We're going to do it like Suge said. him and I are working on his autobiography, his memoir, in the same sense to where how Alex Haley and Malcolm X came together. That's how me and Suge going write this amazing
That's right.
story. And then even there's so much to do. There's so much, and I'm proud that you and Dave connected. Me and Dave got some stuff that we cooking up that's really about to change the game as well. So it's I'm with you. If you need me, we locked in, and I'm gonna pull up on you again. But then, and more importantly, man, I'm gonna support Collect Calls and support all the things that Breakbeat and Dave Mays is putting together.
Hey, I got one question before we go, bro. This to you and Dave, right?
Yeah.
Now, both of y'all vegan, right?
I used to be. I'm back on that. I'm back eating.
Okay. Okay, good. Because I was going to say, after having all those kids, I know you just wasn't stroking. You doing a little eating too. So eating that thing down there ain't plant based. So I think Dave might to me too, because he got a fiance.
I love
This
it.
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Man, that's my brother.
Hey,
Suge
man, hey, y'all enjoy your day, man.
Man, we love you.
Shout out to Cat Williams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All day. Take care, Suge. And Dave, man, we got so much more to build on too.
Yes.
So
appreciate you.
I mean, even as we let Suge go, but we talking to you, man. It's important that what you putting out there and all of us being responsible in hip hop, man. You're a responsible voice, man. So we appreciate all that you're doing with Breakbeat and
you have 60 seconds remaining
with Collect Calls with Suge.
Definitely, yeah, man. Please, check out Breakbeat Media. We got a bunch of great shows. Building the first hip hop podcast network. Shout out to all the talent. Under Breakbeat, Don't Call Me White Girl.
Yeah.
Bubba Dub, Bill Bellamy, Chris with Trapping.
Hey, Dave, don't forget about my series, Dave. Don't forget about my series, my time out. I got to go.
All right, Suge. We got you, Suge. Trust me, me and Dave been talking. We getting some stuff built up in the scripted space, the non-scripted space, and all that Breakbeat is doing, all that Incredible is doing, and we gonna come together in a big way. We're going to get Dave in studio in the upcoming weeks, and we're going to talk about all of this stuff, though. So, Dave, is there anything else that you want to say so that the people know what it is?
Nah, let's just, let's run the numbers up on Collect Call, man. Go to Apple, Spotify, listen to that first episode, drop a comment, a review, give us 5 stars, and then definitely hit YouTube up Tuesday, Halloween. You're going to see the visual, debut to the world. I think people are going to really love that. And appreciate you for having us on, everything you do, and look forward to seeing you out in LA soon, and we can get all these things moving.
Squared away. There it is, man. Suge Knight, Dave Mays, Collect Calls right here on the Daily Cannon.
Yeah.
Peace.